the fact that we were able to thrive over the last 12 months really came down to some changes that we made in our ways of working a couple of years ago now. And it was the moment that we realized we needed to start to break down the silos between our tech teams, but also between functions across our business. And so we started to establish cross-functional squads. So people would come together from across all of the company to focus on achieving common objectives. And actually, one of the first squads that we ever created was one that I led, which was made up of members from marketing, sales, our brand teams, our tech department, and also the local UK market. And we were tasked with delivering double-digit order growth that year. And it was the first time that a team like this had ever come together on such a level playing field. It was really empowering, really energizing, and we absolutely smashed our targets. And things started to grow from there. So since then, we now have 16,000 active users per week on Slack, working across 30 workspaces, sending over 15 million messages per month. Active users are up 8 times since we launched that first squad and up 4 times over the past year. And now Slack it's even integrated with our global intranet. So all announcements that we make now automatically go out on Slack. It's well and truly a part of daily Jet life. And if that hadn't become so deeply ingrained in our culture a couple of years ago, I don't think we would have been able to cope with the level of change that we have experienced as well over the past 12 months. One of my key takeaways when it comes to how work has changed and should change going forward relates to asynchronous working. So the pandemic has really highlighted how biased businesses tend to be against people who have commitments outside of work, particularly working parents or those with caring responsibilities, who also are usually women. I'm really proud that Jet's always cared deeply about these types of issues, but even we didn't realize how much more we still needed to do here. So now we record all of our meetings so that people can watch them at a time that's convenient for them. In addition to running live Q&As with our teams, which I think are still really important, we also now have an Ask Anything Slack channel. So anybody can ask us questions at any time. They can also subscribe to subject-specific Slack channels to get updates. And we're even looking to replace certain meetings right now with short video snippets posted into relevant Slack channels. Because you don't always need to be there at that moment to get that update from that person. So it's really forcing us to reconsider what interactions absolutely must versus don't really need to take place in real time. Community is absolutely central to Jet life for so many reasons, but I'll come at it from 2 angles. First, from a commercial perspective, and then I'll tell you why it actually is so much more than that for us. So I built the delivery function at Jet to focus broadly on 3 things. 1, the work that flows through the system, so what work we do. 2, the way that we deliver our work, so our processes and our operating model. But 3, and most importantly, the people who deliver the work. Because the fact is that you can have the best processes, the best tools, the best ideas in the world, but without a culture that promotes happy, healthy, diverse, and connected teams, you will never be as successful as you could be. So we actually conducted a study about 18 months ago that compared the performance of teams that were supported by one of our delivery managers with those that were left to their own devices. The teams with a delivery manager saw a 25% improvement in team happiness, which came with a corresponding double-digit reduction in cycle time, which was about 59-60%. And also a double-digit increase in the throughput versus the control. So in a nutshell, what we saw was that supported and connected teams were happier, and happier teams were more productive. But like I said, community is so much more than that for Jet. When people ask me what Jet people are like, I tell them the same thing every time. Jetters don't come to work to do their job. They come to work to change the world, right? So we have our STEM ambassadors, for example. There are over 150 of them who volunteer their time to work with over the past few years, over 70 different schools and organizations who have inspired and coached over 30,000 kids, teaching them how to get into careers in tech. So really, back to the question, how we intentionally built communities. Well, Slack provided the platform. Jet leadership provided a safe space, support, and encouragement. But really, it was our people who built the communities. I think that the beauty of Slack is that it's so much more than a messaging platform. I say this because people who don't usually get why it's better than other tools are only using the other tools as a messaging platform, right? So Slack is both a community building and a collaborative working platform. It's a great balance of being structured and functional enough to support collaborative working, while also being cool and warm enough for people to actually want to hang out in a channel with their colleagues after work. We actually have a channel in Jet called The Conductor, which is the name of the pub at the ground floor of our HQ in London, and people literally do hang out there after work. So I guess what I can say is, like, over the past 12 months in particular, Slack has quite literally become the backbone of our community. And at this point, I'm not convinced any other tool would have been able to serve us in the same way or as well.